sitting down with John.
Here we are.
AKA Anzio.
Here we are.
Dream Warriors, Pro Football.
Pro Football Edition.
Pro Football Edition, Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Episode 97 overall.
2 weeks before the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And we're going to try and do this every week. We're going to try and do you every other week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you check? So next time you're checking in should be like week 1.
Yeah, after week 1, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, so let's just hit that music. Let's jump to it. Let's talk some sports and other things. We're going to talk movies and comics and
Got a lot to catch up on.
yeah, we do have a lot to catch. It's been a while since we sat down.
Yeah.
I think the last time we did anything was Dunkirk.
On the podcast?
Yeah.
Last time we did anything was we talked to Wonder Woman. So it's been a while.
It's been a while. Wait, I thought we did Dunkirk in the car. And I thought we did Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, sorry, in the car.
Oh,
we did do that. I meant here in the studio.
Sit down.
Right, in the studio.
Yeah, man. Could not have been more wrong about Wonder Woman. Anyway, we'll be right back and listen to this theme, the Dream Warriors music with some cool football tunes. We'll talk to you. But anyway, and we'll just... just like that, we're back. So, yeah, it's like we've seen a lot of movies together.
We have.
We've been
Tried a lot lately, last couple of years.
And we've been trying to record, I think every movie that we've seen, even since Wonder Woman, we wanted to record on, and it just hasn't had, it gets a little tricky sometimes. And
It does, yeah.
Yeah, but since then, we've seen The Rock fight
Fight a gorilla.
giant wolf.
Oh, yeah, well, wolf with a gorilla.
A flying wolf and a crocodile. Side note, did you see that video of the crocodile like biting off the dude's hand? Oh my god, dude! This dude sticks his hand in the crocodile's mouth.
It's never a smart move,
dude. And I just love the prey instinct of animals, like the ones that are truly dependent on meat. Because as soon as the jaws like clamp, the thing starts to roll.
It wants to roll. That's what they do.
And I'm like, what, dude? And it's like, it's the craziest thing. The killer instinct in animals it's fascinating. Like you don't want to watch it, and you can't do nothing but think about it once you watch it.
It's so funny, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think is going to happen, right? It doesn't matter how well fed that crocodile is. It's like it knows how to close its mouth and roll, and that's it.
And the thing is, I guess like when this stuff happens, usually every single time, if it's anything like that's like event driven or theme park driven or like a show, it's usually an old animal. Like the old animals are the ones that attack Sigmund and Freud. Like the one, like that tiger was with them for like 20-something years. That tiger had like better days. Right. And I always just envision like even with that crocodile, like they probably did that trick a million times, 10 times a day, 7 days a week, and now the croc is so freaking old that it maybe just wanted to like flex its jaw. Maybe like the jaw starts hurting.
Like this was the moment, right?
Right.
But do you think that like did this guy get so cocky? Like he's just like, I can do whatever I want to this croc?
I think it's almost like, oh my god, I ended up training a crocodile. This is what I do for money now.
Yeah. I
could use a new croc. Like, you know, like I could use a new one.
A new croc.
But I can't take off of work to buy one and to train one. And I'm stuck.
You gotta raise it for the time it's a little one. Yeah.
Now I gotta deal with this old croc. And I think I'll be okay. Yeah, like that's and then like I still feel more sorry for the crocodile than the guy though.
Yeah, I mean of course.
Like it's still, you know, like but the only times I feel bad with the trainers is when it's like a like an animal that doesn't eat meat, like a horse, and like the horse kicks the trainer and like kills it. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, that's just a peaceful animal that you're effing with, and that.
Dude, a horse kick should be a weapon in Halo. It's so strong.
A weapon in Halo.
It's the real deal, man.
Dude, that's what Halo needs. Halo needs like Black Panther mechanical rhinos.
Yes,
dude, that would be insane. Like
yes.
even if like the Covenant like dropship, and then like all the elites had like ostriches, like that there aren't like or Gallo-Meni, the ones from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but what if you just drop shipped mechanical rhinos that charged you,
dude?
Massive ones
with cannons, like like quick moving hunters,
or you have like jackals hanging off of it with guns.
Dude, come on, get with it, Halo. Jump on it. But yeah, so and then we saw Infinity War,
of course, several times.
We saw that twice. Saw it twice. We saw Upgrade.
Upgrade was good.
Yeah, we both enjoyed.
Dude, pleasant surprise. I mean, I hadn't even really heard much about it. It was obviously, a smaller independent film, and then, we're going to go see. We're going to go see Infinity War. No, we're going to go see Solo again.
We were going to see, for
the second time.
Yeah, because we saw Solo, and we both enjoyed Solo.
Yeah, and we're like, let's go back and see it. Yeah. And then I'm sitting at my desk at work, and I saw this trailer for Upgrade, and I said, well, I asked Pete, he said, let's go.
Yeah, so by that point, that movie had, I kind of followed that movie pretty well. So that movie had plenty of traction, of hype. And nowadays, like, the movies that come up through, like, the ether, you can pinpoint the good ones relatively easily and quickly. The popular movies, because they have marketing engines behind them, and there's, like, shill reviewers behind some of these movies. A movie like Solo, you get both. You get people that love it and hate it. Infinity War was one of the only times where everyone seemed to like it, and it's so hard to determine what's good when it comes to the bigger movies anymore, because everyone liked Mission Impossible, and that didn't have much of a marketing arm. Yeah. That movie wasn't even that well promoted, I don't think.
Yeah.
I saw the trailers and stuff, but it wasn't a media blitz. It wasn't like Deadpool 2 with the Slurpees. Did we see Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it.
No, remember?
Oh, yeah.
We saw
that twice.
We saw it early. Yeah, and you went back that night with Mark and saw it.
I had to go see it with Mark.
Yeah.
And at that point, we were hashtag lit.
I like how I had to see it with Mark. But seeing a movie with Mark isn't that bad, dude.
I feel like Mark's my, I almost feel like I'm his father, and I just don't talk to his mother, and she drops him off sometimes, and I spend time with him.
I want to be on the record. I enjoy seeing a movie with Mark. I don't feel that way.
Dude, he just got... So, Mark update. Yeah, so Mark just got into a car accident. And...
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. But I tried to tell him... look, people must be look, it's got to be hard being friends with Pete. Anyone that listens to this. But, yeah, there's things... in everyone, and myself included, that I like analysis. I like figuring why people make certain decisions, and if I see bad behavior, I really try and help them solve enable them with tools to get past it.
You do.
And
you're not somebody who will ever put his friends down. You're always trying to build them up, trying to emphasize how to get out of a bad situation if they have to.
So Mark's bad situation.
Okay.
And thank you for that. We were walking home one night. Drinking. And it might have been the night that we saw Mission Impossible. And I said, Mark, when I talk to you on the phone, can you please talk to me? And I don't need to hear a running commentary of traffic and cars and you yelling at drivers and explaining to me what other people are doing wrong. And I'm like, Mark, usually that's behavior someone that gets into an accident, because you're so hung up and you get bent out of shape.
So this was a prediction on your end.
Yeah.
Mark, you're having mini road rage here. It's not going to equal good stuff down the road. So,
and then he's been distant, even in our one group text thread. He hasn't been responsive and intelligent with his messaging at all. More erratic than he normally is. And I kind of knew something was up, so I pressed him today, and I'm like, dude, what's, you gotta talk to me, because I tried to call him last night,
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I can't. Like, I'm sorry, I'm multitasking." I'm like, "Okay, you're multitasking at 9:00." I'm like, "Mark, I'll be up all night." I said, "Mark, I'm probably going to sleep at 4 a.m."
When do you sleep, right? Like, he can call you back in 2 hours.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter, right?
he can sleep 8 hours
And call you.
and call me as I'm tucking myself in. Okay,
I routinely talk to you before 7 a.m. It's like you can call whenever.
Yeah, so he tells me he's like this old guy hit me, and and I got into a car accident, and an old guy hit me, and if I could have wrote down how he would phrase a car accident. Mm-hmm. It would be that because Mark is in a cycle where he does nothing but blame other people, and he will only blame himself when confronted to blame himself, meaning instructed to blame yourself. So, and I didn't even have the heart to tell him, like, I told you so. I'm like, dude, like.
But you saw this coming.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm saving up to trade in my car, and I have to use money for that deductible, like this and that. I'm like, Mark, pay to play. Just pay to move on, period.
Right.
Okay? That's what you have to do.
Well, how bad is his car? I mean, is it totaled? It's not totaled, but is it?
No, he says he has a $500 deductible.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a bang. Like,
I mean, you just pay the $500, they fix it.
yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
And if it's the other guy's fault, he should be able to recoup the $500. Depending on how the insurance companies handle it, but he should be able to.
Right, and he tells me, like, the police report says it was the other guy's fault, but it's like he's expecting the insurance company to give him the money back, or for him not to pay the $500 like right away.
Oh, he'll have to pay the $500.
Yeah, and I'm like, Mark, number one, that's not how it works, and number two, like, because I was talking about this. Oh, we had like a really bad, like, I don't know if I should even talk about this because it's very sensitive, but one of our guys in one of my offices got his email phished.
Okay.
Completely downloaded, full access, and money transferred to outside accounts for like a while before anyone picked up on it. And so, we're talking about like security and kind of like user habits, and I'm trying to build a program for these people now for email security, and on the back end build out the because now we have to go through Microsoft OEM encryption, which is like a whole big fucking anyway. It's like super geek stuff. And so, but that guy, the guy that did that, is super defensive. Like
the guy that got fished.
Yeah, super defensive. Okay.
Well, what's there to be defensive about if they know you were the one that got fished?
Yeah, but it's kind of like being labeled wrong, being like, hey, like, we all knew you were dumb, but now we have proof, like, type of thing, okay?
Yeah.
And his behavior echoes exactly Mark when he's pressed on, like, kind of like the car stuff. And so you do have that parallel. The other parallel is, I said this today, I said, because they're trying to get the insurance. Okay.
Yeah.
With the lost money, and I said, look, because we were joking about this. I said, the job of the insurance company is to say, we can't, like, your claim is not good. We can't give you your, like, that's phase one with the insurance company, and then phase two is, what happened? What was your problem? Like, first you get the no.
Their initial response is always no.
And so, like, I was trying to explain to Mark that there's, like, insurance companies aren't Walmart.
Yeah.
They have to say no. There's no business for them if they say yes.
Listen, he has to get it fixed, right? He pays the $500, and then the insurance companies will fight behind the scenes and say, look, you owe us this, you owe us that. But that has to play out down the road. That's not going to happen tomorrow.
I just but he definitely like tagged him. So we're already 20 minutes in. So Infinity War, like we both like.
I'm wearing the shirt.
Solo, we both liked. We both like Rampage.
Rampage. The only rock movie we haven't seen really lately was Skyscraper, right?
But we kind of went back and forth. It was
I know. I wasn't like it just wasn't a good time. So.
Yeah. I think that's based on a true story. I think I heard that, and I kept forgetting to look it up. I think the guy he's playing is a real life dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then, like, if The Rock is playing you, why would you not kill yourself? because there's now an ultimate version of you.
I don't think he's gonna kill him though. I think
Like,
the ultimate tribute, like The Rock played me in a movie.
I don't know if it's a tribute. I think it's something to where it's
I don't
like,
know, man.
wow, like I'm not as good as. I'm not The Rock. The Rock has made a better version of this guy than God did.
The guy has one leg, dude. Like,
But The Rock's like, I got one leg too. Let me play him in the movie.
but not really.
No, I'm pretty sure The Rock got his leg chopped off from.
Oh, is that what it did? Yeah.
I'm almost positive.
Almost positive.
The Rock's a method actor.
Was he? He had enough money to get reattached.
Well, he's got so much HGH that it grows back.
It's like Deadpool. It just grows back.
Oh, okay. So we're talking football.
Yeah, so we caught up. Now we talk a little football.
Yeah.
This is the first for Dream Warriors, right? We're heading this direction a little bit. Those sports.
Yeah. So this is just look. It's not. It's not. It's no secret that I've been disenchanted. I've been kind of like, a lot of the stuff's happened with the NFL has affected me viewing the game. Affected the way I look at it, the way I absorb it, the filter, and it comes not just down to what's happening with the anthem. It's the lack of control that the front office seems to have. The players union is dictating their own, like the players union is not just dictating the rights of the players on employment. They're dealing with they're dealing with activist-driven ideas through the players' union, and everyone's stuck between having a position, no one's congruent, and everyone seems like ownership, the players, white players, black players, commentators, journalists. No one has. There's no clear line of sight. And a solution for now. This you and I, because
we talk about this a lot through text.
Yeah, is that you or me?
It might be me. I don't know. We have a headphone issue happening right now.
Yeah, you know what? We can just do this without the headphones. Let's just do it without the headphones.
Okay.
Because I can see the sound waves. The sound waves are good.
Good.
So, but okay. First time, no headphones.
No headphones. This is the first.
Damn,
I love it.
We just go crazy. But yeah.
Yeah. So to catch people up, I mean, you and I talk a lot through text about this. We sort of have different stances about it.
Sometimes it's not so much heated as it's like matter of fact driven.
Yeah,
discussion.
I think it's like how we view it. I mean, like you said, that's how you sort of view each of these. And
I think it's a disease that has hit the fabric of the game, and I think our only division though is you're like, well, F it. It doesn't affect what happens.
Well, I guess my stance is, I'm glad we're recording. So I guess my stance is I don't really think
it's a battle.
I don't think it's as
dream world.
Yeah, I don't think it's like you are the Chicken Little sky is falling NFL's down.
I'm not though, because last year you called me Chicken Little, and how much of last year came to fruition?
But I don't think much did. I honestly think that the league is as strong as ever.
No,
I think that there is a why. I think
you can't say okay. Side note. I'll say that. Oh, there's so much. Oh,
I know there is.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Everything that is making the league, okay, is because the league is the only one in the game, pun intended, when it comes to TV ratings.
Right.
Okay, so TV ratings in all have been spiraling down for 2 decades.
Right, but I think there's an argument to say, well, no, not for the league. They haven't for 2 decades.
I'm saying, but for all of TV.
Right,
that's what I mean. Like they're the only ones in the game for anyone to invest in.
If everything you said is true, and you're not going to get into a lot of announcement of all day, but then why are sponsors dying to get in bed with the league still?
Because they're the only ones in the game.
But if you have a financial responsibility as a company to say, what's our cost benefit analysis if I get in bed with the league right now, and you paint the picture that this is crazy, the league's dropping like nuts. Why would anybody want to do anything with it?
Because we're beginning to see like the first ring of the spiral.
Yeah, but these are really smart people making these decisions for other companies.
100%.
And they could. Why would they jump in right away?
So, they're really smart people. I agree. Are they all making like perfect decisions? Does Pepsi not lose a ton of money on clear Pepsi? Does Doritos not lose a ton of money on 3D Doritos? These companies make bad decisions day in and day out.
All of these like I said before, the second Papa John's got out, literally Pizza Hut announced we have a deal with the league. And I'm like, why? Why not do it in a month?
So Papa John's, number one, had an opportunity to maintain it.
Yes.
They chose not to.
Right.
They were vocal on it. Based on what they said and what we see. Now, I'll correlate that with something very similar. Okay, even though the John's of Papa John seems to
John's is a little
has come off the resume.
He's gone nuts.
I'm not sure like what's happened with that.
I don't know, but I told you when it happened. You were like, oh, he said directly that they were blaming the NFL for their like loss of products. And I said, look, he's a CEO trying to save his job. He'll say anything he can. They backed out of that deal.
Anyway, he wasn't so much less trouble then. If you go through,
I agree.
If you go through like his troubles,
I agree.
Okay. Now, some of this I think is a little bit like, okay, the guy was probably a weirdo the entire time.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. I don't understand how he gets to stay on Twitter, but Alex just does.
Well, no, Alex was still on Twitter, right?
No, that's the one platform. No, Twitter guy. Right? Twitter guy.
Oh, so he knew the last thing.
No, so here's the funny thing. Okay, so Twitter says, hey, he didn't violate any.
Originally, that's what they said,
and
right?
People were like, exactly, Twitter, he didn't violate anything.
Right.
And then 2 days later, Twitter was like, you're going for violations.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
like insane. Okay, but anyway, so okay, no. So, So your position is that look, the NFL has collectively, without fragmenting some of the departments or like breaking it apart, they made more money last year. They're making more money now than they've ever have. Just money.
Right. More revenue is coming in now than they've ever at any point in any
more
year.
revenue.
Right.
Okay. And none of the we'll say social justice, warrior activism, whatever you want to call it, is hitting the field. Right? Like those are your two big contention.
Like
I
agree with that. But again, I'm not saying
that's your thesis.
Yeah, but I don't think that the NFL is like bulletproof. But I don't think it's this activism that takes the NFL takes pieces of it. I think the game itself has evolved to where safety concerns outweigh like what you can see, and that's a bigger issue than social justice at all.
I've been very strong on this. The two things that will tear apart the NFL is gay frogs. Sorry. Alex Jones reference. It's gay frogs. No. Okay, it's going to be the activism, which right now you can just say has not only divided the league, but the entire audience and all the commentators. Like there's no two guys sitting in a booth that even agree on the anthem, nor are they even allowed to address it.
But what do you mean has torn apart
because we have
the audience? What do you mean though?
Well, okay, so audience is down 10%, double digits.
Well,
okay. It's down 10%. I mean, look. You
just said everything is down across the board. Box offices are down across the board. All ratings for everything are down across the board. I think it's because there's so many options for people that they don't.
No, 10% thing. Look, if we're dealing with movies. Part of the issue with movies is that there's activism in the movies now. People don't want to go to the movies and be preached. So we are actively monitoring the fall of the MCU with the activism already hitting these movies. This is one of the reasons we haven't seen a Captain Marvel trailer.
Yeah, there's definitely something weird going on.
There's something with that. Okay?
Because the Infinity War Part 2 is supposed to come out in...
It's close, yeah.
It's March, or no, I don't know when it is. It's like another year, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It should be a March, right? Yeah, January, February,
I don't know if it's this March.
We can look it up.
I think it's like March of... I don't know.
Hey, welcome to Dream Warriors Football, where we talk about Well, this is mostly a spitball episode too, for John and I to air out some of our demons. Avengers 4.
Yeah, I'm just glad we're able to talk about stuff because we text each other a lot about it.
We do, and I think it's good. Actually, April
coming.
Yeah.
So why aren't we seeing Captain Marvel stuff?
Okay, so look, this is the part. With watching and rewatching Last Jedi. Look, I thought that movie was ballsy. I still believe it's ballsy. I think that's the only thing that movie has at this point. The SJW infestation destroyed Star Wars, and that quickly, as soon as anyone got wind of weird stuff they were doing with Solo, like people backed off in droves from that movie. From droves as soon as they heard that Lando was paying sex for that. Lando like was into a droid. It doesn't even matter how much of that is in the movie.
Right.
There's an audience. There's a core of people now.
Yeah, the hype around it. You're right.
They will choose not to do it. They will choose to move on, and they almost like they don't collectively boycott. They almost boycott out of principle. And this is where we are with the NFL. Attendance is down, ratings are down. Collectively, the league is up. But you know what offsets some of that? They had record cable deals. They had record sponsorship agreements.
Right.
But they also and I thought this was cool. So everything's digital printing now. Like almost anything like WWE just launched digital print. Like custom on-demand World Wrestling Entertainment shirts.
Like clothing, okay.
They have a whole new section on your website that is strictly like, hey, you want this awesome image?
Yeah.
You want it on the hoodie? Done. You want it on the tank top? Done.
So
and
completely
it's like
custom stuff.
100% custom.
Yeah,
and
cool.
it's getting deeper. So this is all stemming from the huge success of Nike ID, where Nike was able to do that with their shoes for probably like 8 years now.
It's been a while.
Okay, so now that digital side caught up to the NFL. So the NFL merchandise, because of their digital, so people were able to order the divisional and the playoff shirts and gear as it was happening.
Yeah,
it bumped their merchandise up over 40%.
But like look at the bigger picture for the NFL.
So that's like an innovation that bumped the company also.
Right, but so if you look at the bigger picture, right, we have this pie of people in our country. There's only like 330 million people roughly. They say about a third of the people watch football. So that means 2/3 don't.
Yeah.
But that's a third is still over 100 million people. But it's been that way for a while. And the idea is like, I mean, how long has the league been trying to expand into Europe and to Mexico?
Walmart can only open up so many
stores. There's a saturation point for the league
contract.
that it's like, what do we do at this point? They've been trying to go to Europe and Mexico for 10 years or more, right? It's like, so where does the league like go? Like
exactly.
I don't know. I mean, that's their biggest question.
Okay, the NFL. So the second thing, real quick too, that's going to bring down the NFL. It's if it's not the SJWs, it's the concussion.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
that's what I think is a bigger impact.
That is, I think between the two. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when we go back and forth, like I kind of hardline things where, like it's hard for me to get excited about football when it's not. It's so different than what it was even 3 years ago. To where like
I don't know about that.
And well,
what could you do 3 years ago that you can't do now?
Tackle.
How can you tackle any differently? I mean, 3 years ago they were still throwing flags for hits to the head.
No, but now it's like even with the preseason they were criticizing.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, this is going to be the movement on that hit.
So you have this giant
it's not
in the room.
Well, so it's so much not it's tackle. Like you really can't. Like you have to knock guys off their center. That's really how they're practicing now.
Right. So we have anytime there's a rule change, there's constant criticism because it's the NFL. It's a great talking point. It's going to get ratings. Then there's 24 hours to service in a day, right? Like how are we going to get served? So any flag thrown in a preseason game for a hit, is that interpreted correctly? Is it not? Look how soft the league's getting. It's always going to draw criticism because it's popular.
Yeah.
But the idea that, I mean, you couldn't hit people in the head 3 years ago. You couldn't hit people in the head 5 years ago. You couldn't hit the quarterback at all in the head 8 years ago, 10 years ago, right? The league over the last 20 plus years has softened its stance on like what you can do to people on the field.
Well, yeah, and that's a little bit of what I mean to where like there's a fundamental shift in what the game is, and I
guess I'm saying the shift happened a long time ago, not now.
Well, no, well, it's look, there's incremental. Look, technically, you can even say that Peyton Manning's Colts Super Bowl was from rules changes that they made against the Patriots. Like, there's arguments even for that Super Bowl, and it goes on and on. Do I think it's weird that every quarterback now puts up Dan Marino numbers? 100%.
Well, yeah, but
it's impossible.
Okay.
It's impossible unless we have.
First of all, it's not that impossible when you look at the percentage of the times they throw compared to when Marino threw. Marino was throwing at a rate that today's quarterbacks throw at a time when no one threw the ball like that. So he was putting up big numbers because you're like, and I get it. The defenses aren't allowed to do as much as they were in 1986, right?
No, I understand. And corners then would shut the modern day guys down.
Right.
Even with their size, they would shut them down.
But I mean, the game has to evolve. You have to get excitement into the game to get, and scoring does that. So to say, like, all right, now teams throw the ball 62% of the time in a game, okay, that's pretty common. You're going to put up 4,000 yards in a year. And only Marino was doing that back then. And you'd say, man, that's pretty big numbers now. But it's what keeps excitement in the game. It keeps,
but that's exactly the point, though. See, when you say it doesn't change or
but that changed a while ago, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but there's constant fiddling, even with the rules, to where it's hard. Like, and this is a reason why they're not expanding. It's because it's no different than if you watch Captain America: Civil War with someone that doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, let's watch a great movie, Civil War. Like, oh, okay, I heard that was good. And then it's like, as soon as you see Bucky with no backstory,
right? It's
like, who's that? Okay, the movie fails. That is a failure of a movie. I have the same criticism with Infinity War.
You brought that up last time I was here a couple weeks ago when we watched it, and I think you're right on that. I mean, I think if you watch Infinity War without seeing the other Marvel movies, it's tough.
But it's tough. You have to watch it and remind yourself how you're connecting the dots. Like, meaning that when, like, Thor references, like, oh, my brother's died before, you're like,
right.
Aha, like those 3 other times, like in those, or there's two other, and you're like, okay, if I got that, then I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And it's that. But when it comes to like the rules, you can't sit down with someone. Baseball is so much more, like, you can sit down with someone who hasn't seen a baseball game and explain things as they're happening, because there's there's no nuance in it's not even what's happening between the plays. It's like what's happening between the ball, the hand, the ground, and the football move. And you can't explain this to people who are not in the know. It's impossible. So now what we have is like a football culture where people go to bars, which doesn't help ratings, doesn't help anything,
right,
to do stuff. Okay, and they buy the jerseys and they look all like cute or like what?
Well, I mean, they go to a bar, but those bars always play the games. It's not helping ratings, but they always.
No, they play the games, and sometimes they play. Well, they have to pay extra for a broadcast package.
Yeah.
But they also say too, that's why CNN has any ratings, because they are in like airports and that's
right. You're right.
But the thing is, these rule changes you can't just sit down and start watching football. Huge mistake, because we don't even know what a catch is anymore. We all know
that has become one of the biggest topics.
But I will say this though, like even with the what was it, Packers Seahawks, the end zone grab.
Yeah.
Okay, most of these really controversial ones, I have sided with the refs. And it was every single one, because if you take the emotion out of the decision, it's correct, but that doesn't mean it interferes with someone watching the game for the first time and being in the moment. Could you imagine, like, you're someone and you might go to a Seahawks bar and everyone's got because that's Seattle, everyone, like, and you're there for the first time, and like maybe you're on a date and it's a great game and you're like so happy, and then you get to that moment and it's just like confusing. It's going to.
That was definitely confusing.
You lose people when it's that, okay? And that's the long-term effects of these rules. Now, I'm not saying you can't knock rules to favor things. I'm not saying you can't build baseball stadiums for more home runs. which we've had an error of. Okay, I'm not saying that you cannot have insanely lightweight, strong tennis rackets for an error and still say Federer is the greatest. Okay, but I think when it comes for it, like as a business, I think it hurts the business. The virus hurts the business, and the concussion, like fever. But
the concussion to me, you hear former players, Hall of Fame players say, "I wouldn't want my kid to play the game." So that to me is a message that's like, that how do you overcome that is the problem.
So do you think, do you think football will survive our lifetime?
I mean,
I don't say that with the caveat of any form.
No. I mean,
I'm saying like, will it, or are we going? How about this? How about, or is the XFL, because we kind of can predict the XFL's positioning moving forward?
Yeah, it's going to be the anti.
They're going to be the Donald Trump of the pro sports leagues. They will be in your face, non-PR,
yes,
American,
yeah,
rules, and I believe that they'll follow the policy previously, which is going to be they're not going to overpay people. Like they're going to pay people what they think they're worth, and period. Like we're not going to get these crazy contracts with you, as we should with smaller leagues,
right?
So like is the NFL eating its own tail, and now we have Vince McMahon.
Like now we have an opening.
Yeah, I do believe the timing of that announcement even happening last year, like when it did. But I don't know. But it's like the rule changes. I get rule change. I think the rule changes define the errors.
Look, I wish we grew up watching football in the 70s when you can clothesline dudes. Like, dude, that is...
or as they say, when you could tackle people from the eyebrows up.
Well, right, right. I imagine, right? You see this old footage, you're like, dude, that would never fly. I mean, these guys, these defensive linemen, they made a career, like Deacon Jones. Like, these guys made a career of...
That's who said that.
Of
keep talking.
Of, like, smacking a guy on the head with a club. A clubbed hand. And dazing him.
Yeah.
Enough that he could get to the quarterback. Like, because the guy's stunned now. That guy would be kicked out of the league now.
I love it.
And that was only, 35, 40 years ago.
Put that down. Yeah. So, I think now is a trying time. I think it's because I would like to see Goodell and the front office take a true position with the anthem. I would like, the only thing I think the front office needs to say is that, look, technically this wasn't our rule book. Technically you would be fined. It's there, okay? But we're not doing that now. Like, we're not. But we're going to do this. And if it's peaceful, you can do it. Okay.
But what would you substitute? What would you define as? Like,
if you want to kneel, you can kneel. But I think, and if you want to stand, you can stand, and everyone knows what the two means. Okay. But I think if Roger Goodell would get in front of this, and he can still do it. You just say, look, if you're kneeling, you're protesting this. We're not going to interpret it as you're protesting the anthem. And we're going to back you up, and we're going to respect you. And if you want to stand, we would prefer it if you stood.
Yeah, of course.
But we're not going to stop you. Oh my God. Let me grab that. Where is my phone? Oh, right here. Oh, sorry. I am so sorry, everyone. Hey, mostly it's Dallas the one making the trouble.
Not tonight.
And you were so good too.
I put my phone on silent.
You're so much better than me. But yeah, I mean, if Goodell, because at that point we're not posturing, we're not positioning. The president can't say anything because if now the president's being vocal against a new policy that the league's putting forward. That's just not that POTUS can't send ridiculous tweets at 2 a.m.
That's entertainment. I love it.
It's crazy. He just hired he has a communications czar now that's going to work with his policy people to parallel everything now.
Yeah, well,
Which might be too little, too late. But that's been. I think the guy from Fox News is coming over for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would say Ayers.
Roger Ayers. He's died. He did.
Right.
Yeah.
He died. Well, I think Trump got him back.
Maybe. That's power.
Trump got him.
He pardoned his death.
Power of protest.
I pardon his death.
Trump goes to the to that plane with the red skull,
Getting the soul stone, baby.
He's like, I'm gonna bring him back, but I gotta sacrifice a life. He goes, I only know myself, so I guess I'm jumping. But yeah, so these are just a lot of like, again, like you and I, it's mostly a like it's a type of positioning where there's a few factors separating where we agree.
Yeah.
Okay. To me, some of it is the sky's falling, but at the same time, it's because I see parallels with what's happening with the NFL as I saw in Hollywood and in comics with Comic-Gate. Okay?
Yeah. No,
And
it's a lot easier for this social justice movement to impact Hollywood or comics because it's easy to say we put a person who makes decisions, we put that person in charge to make
and
this
it's directly
character
affected the movie,
right? And it's going to easily affect
100%.
it.
Yeah, my only pushback when you're like, hey, it doesn't affect what's on the field, which is, well, we're not going to know. That's just something we're never going to know, and it's like I almost feel like in my darkness of Peter when I sit and I stare and I see myself looking back at me.
I know when the dark Peter's coming out, man. I get these messages.
When I have those moments though, but I have to like have, because I haven't thought about, like I haven't thought that point through of like how exactly would we determine if it happens on the field? When would we know? How would I accept it?
When there's a female kicker, that you'll know it's fully swung.
Speaking of that, you know what movie I was just watching? I was just
Necessary Roughness.
Necessary Roughness. I was just, dude, that movie is a lot better than I thought like Scott was it Scott Bakula?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was just
like the aging quarterback on.
Well, he was completely off and retired. He was like 4 years out of college, and they recruited him back in. I just thought he was like an older college dude. Like, and then Sinbad.
No, he was out.
And Sinbad's like a professor.
Yeah,
and he recruits
dude, and
I completely forgot like some of the storylines for that.
SI cover girl, Kathy Ireland,
and that's when she was like everything.
Dude, she
was.
She was my childhood crush, man.
Yeah,
loved her.
Love that. Yeah, but no, and so it's the reason, and one of the reasons why, you know, like it magnifies to me because I don't want to see these like institutions challenged. I don't want to see SJWs destroy the control board in comic books.
Yeah,
like I don't want to see them, putting words in John Goodman's mouth in the first 4 seconds of Kong Skull Island.
Yeah,
like I don't want to see these things. I think there's a time and a place, and look, I think on paper, anything SJWs want on paper. You're like, yes. Now,
I think the argument for me is what they argue for. I would turn around and say, where doesn't that exist typically?
Well, like, that's exactly what I mean too. Like it would be like, oh, you want this? Okay, so do I. That's great. It's there, or like, okay, it could maybe be better here, or this and that, or hey, give it time. Which no one even wants that. Everything wants everything needs to be done by noon.
Instantly, right?
Yeah. Which most of them are not waking up till 3.
Well, they're not working.
It's not work. And then like it's so this is where like it's become the term like culture war resonates with me because I do feel like it's divisional. Someone had one of the funniest lines today. They said if if someone from like the 1800s came to Philly today, they wouldn't know what the cat call, because like the SJWs are like women. Because they're like slender men with like skinny jeans and stuff, and they wouldn't know what the cat call. But that's what I mean by culture wars. And look, and the thing is, I joke. I like nuance. I like deep opinions. I like long form conversations.
Yeah.
Dream war. Like, we're technically still having a long form conversation on Infinity War. Okay. The only way to get this whole season is going to be a long form analysis on the NFL.
That's good.
And this is why this is almost like I think we should just call this one episode 0 of the Pro Football Talks. Like, it's episode 0. Episode 1 is going to be week 1, but it's going to be, you know, like,
this is the prelude. I love it.
Yeah, or episode 1/2.
1/2. That's an old comic trick too.
It's like an old comic trick, yeah. But no, and it's just like, look, it hurts me to see that the institutions being torn down because they mean something, even if you don't like football. They actually mean something, and for them to be politicized, I'm weird. I'm not used to it, and it's not like I don't want things politicized, because I think that conversation is always there. Sure.
I think you've always, like, everybody feels the same way. I would think is that, like, sports are always the release, right? Like, if I want to watch the NFL, I forget about everything else. I kind of hang out, I put the game on for 3 hours. I can just get into the game.
That game.
But now,
Sunday.
Well, it's Sunday. I watch for
12 hours.
Yeah,
Sunday,
11 hours.
12 hours later.
But like the idea is like, look, I don't need the political message during the football game. You want to give it to me the other 21 hours of the day. Okay, I understand.
But see, that's funny you say that, because you seem to blow off when I point that out. Like, when I put on,
because what I think
Chris Long. And my head explodes because he's talking about fairness.
Listen, the Chris Long argument.
Well, that's two arguments.
There's two arguments there in this discussion, which is another thing we text about a lot. Both. I'm not. The Chris Long argument. Your stance is. Go ahead. I don't even want to state it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
For those who don't know,
he's virtue signaling.
So Chris Long
he's virtue signaling when he's talking about fairness in schools. So
Chris Long played for the Philadelphia Eagles this past season. He's on the team again. He donated his game checks, he says, to a school district or school districts in Virginia for kids that he deemed needed equipment, supplies, whatever this money was used for. Pete's stance is, this is virtue signaling. This guy can't relate. There's no reason this should have happened. And I said, this is a conservative's dream. No. Conservative's dream is, hey, if I choose to donate my money and help people, great, I'll do it.
No, I don't knock him for doing it. I knock his reasons, and I knock his positioning, and I knock. It's not only him. I believe it's the league saying, wouldn't it be great if it sounded like this? Wouldn't it be great if you said this?
But what don't you agree with his reasoning? Like, he says
his reasoning is, okay, number one, we can't spend any more money on schools. We can't, private or not. That's not the problem why schools are bad.
No. He's not. Listen,
it's a private citizen. They can do whatever they want. I get it.
No. But what I'm saying is, if you go to these school districts, you're sitting in front of a surface right now. These kids have never held one. They don't have access to stuff in some of these school districts in rural Virginia where.
Let me tell you this: no technology is as good as outdated technology. Do you know what they're? I was just having this discussion this day with someone. 3 of his kids are in private school. Do you know what? He had a sign off for him for equipment, loss or whatever, like insurance sign off for. Yeah. Do you know what for? iPads. Okay. Why? iPads they're already gone. They're irrelevant. None in the pad. There's nothing you can do in the pad. And you know what they get in high school? Do you know what happens in high school? Do you know what they get? They get Chromebooks. Irrelevant. You're going to have to learn Microsoft Windows. Period. So these ideas are great. They're fantastic.
Yeah, but again, these are kids that don't have access to any of that.
It doesn't. It's almost like it doesn't matter. I'd rather have those ghetto kids or whatever. Is that bad? Can I even say ghetto? Is ghetto bad?
I don't think it's bad. Well, I don't think it's bad.
Because I think we both cringed when I said that.
I didn't. I'm fine with it. I looked at you because you cringed.
I don't know. I'm like, is that bad? Okay. I'd rather. They're better off learning Windows 7.
Right, but you just said there's no better technology than outdated technology.
No. I said it's as good as no technology. I said if you're learning, you might as well just have a pen and paper because there's nothing you're learning on that iPad that applies to anything.
Yeah, but it's not.
World.
No. But it's not about what they're learning that applies to the real world. It's what they can get, the access to educational tools on the iPad. You might not say, well, it's not going to set them up to learn in the future.
So much federal money wasted.
But again, so maybe Chris Long looks at it from the outside and says, there's so much federal money wasted, I'm going to go buy.
But he doesn't say that. And I would be like, yes, Chris Long, you're right. He doesn't say that.
Right.
He's talking about he's virtue signaling, and
what is he saying? What did he say that specifically?
Well, I would have to. I know we were discussing.
Yeah,
I would have brought up the exact quote. Okay, but and I'm being light, but it's his phrasing of it. It's no different than LeBron. What he did, awesome, great bullet points. But one half of it is being paid by other people's money. Okay. You're not so virtuous.
I'm not saying he's virtuous. I never said anything about that.
And we don't know any of the details of what Chris Long is doing, but we know the story that they're telling. I would have no problem if this is if it was like a tidbit, if it was just like one segment. I would be fine with it. I'd be like, okay, he virtue signaled one segment. He's doing something great.
Yeah, but
when it becomes a storyline for the whole year.
Again, of course, because it's this. There's this narrative in the media that this activism movement wants to put a dent in the NFL. So now you have a player a famous player on a team that's winning, and now they have an opportunity to tell that message again and say, "Oh, look, it looks good for them. It helps us with our narrative." Whatever. I'm saying anything like that could be twisted around to say this fits what we want, right?
I don't buy it.
I think you make way too much out of the Chris Long donation thing.
This dude is more concussed than your prom date.
Did you want to get to the one topic before the season before we cut out?
Okay, well, hold up though.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I did want to do something because I think we should at least we can
preview the season a little bit.
We can discuss that real quick. We got one. We did have one good. Do you think it's? I think it's a good.
It's a good topic.
It's a good take.
Okay.
And we'll make a full segment out of that in a little bit. But first, here's a word from Mark. No, I'm trying to do my Ben Shapiro. But how's your time? How's your watch? Would you like to own the same watch that my wife has bought for me? But okay.
You don't want to do the Joe Rogan Cash App commercial?
Yes.
He reads all the time. Oh, my God.
Okay, you want to go through the conferences?
Yeah.
And, East, West.
Yeah, go for
North.
Let's do it.
And kind of do our picks.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our early picks. Okay.
Early picks. Now, again, we'll make this preseason pick because maybe we should save our picks for week one, right before week one, because I feel like there's a lot of things that can happen in 2 weeks. Guys get traded, guys get hurt. A lot of things happen.
No, let's do it now.
All right, go for it.
Unless we have like a Jordy Nelson injury.
All right.
Which we all knew. No, but wait, did that happen week one? No, that was like week 3. That wasn't preseason. Edelman's injury was preseason.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just real quick. AFC East. Bills, Dolphins, Pats, Jets.
It's going to be the Pats to lose until they, prove otherwise.
Okay. Right? The West. No, toss up, right? Bronx, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders. AFC West.
All right, I'm going to go and say the Raiders win it.
I'm with you. I do concur. AFC North. Used to be a dogfight. Doesn't seem like a dogfight now, right?
I think it's got to be the Steelers. I don't know.
100% agree. Another used to be, man, this division used to be nuts. AFC
Titans.
South.
Yeah, Texans.
Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans.
I mean, the Jaguars went to the AFC title game and were probably in a position to win the Super Bowl if they don't blunder the last quarter or last 6 minutes of the game.
They didn't play 4 quarters.
They didn't.
They didn't. But
I still think. I don't know, man.
Good defense, good RB. Who's throwing for them? Bortles is still. Who's their guy?
I think the Texans win the division. That's my pick.
I'm going to say Jaguars.
All
right, here we go. The greatest division in sport history.
NFC East.
NFC East. The boys, Giants, Eagles, Skins. I can't say the full name of that team.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to upset the 4 Native Americans left.
I think the Eagles win. I just do.
My
you pick the Cowboys.
The Cowboys,
I know, but I pick the Eagles.
And it's just because it's nothing other than I feel like it's their time.
Yeah, I know. You told me that. That's
NFC West.
Okay.
Cards,
the Rams.
Niners. Yeah. Hawks, yeah.
Yeah, Rams are a good team. They added a bunch of players. They had Ndamukong Suh. So they have Suh in the middle of the line with Aaron Donald as a pass rusher who is phenomenal, right? So you have the two of the 4 down linemen are going to be very, very good this year.
Plus
they added, let me think. Well, go ahead. I'll get back.
So the next 2, right? North. Bears, Lions, Vikings, Packers. Everyone seems to be pointing at everyone really wants Rodgers. I see a lot of articles about. Well, I feel like
how is Kirk Cousins going to be in Minnesota? Are they going to be better? I mean, Case Keenum had a great year last year.
Yeah.
Are they going to be better with Kirk Cousins?
I'll tell you one thing. I think Kirk Cousins is a workhorse.
Yeah. He's put up monster numbers every year he's been in the league.
And he's a quarterback. Like, a quarterback, I mean that it doesn't seem like he needs special things around him. He can.
He has some pretty good receivers.
Yeah, he did, but
no, he does now.
He does. Yeah, but he had some talent with and like how many times did he have big plays with the Skins? Like he seems like
people he gets labeled as like a game manager a lot of times, but I mean. I'm just looking.
The game managers have won Super Bowls.
No, they have.
Yeah,
but if you look at his
pocket.
When I people think I'm nuts when I say, oh, well, what do you mean he's put up big numbers? Look at his yards the last 3 seasons where he's been a starter for for the last 3 years, right? He has 16. He played all 16 games each of the last 3 years. Almost 4,200 yards, 4,900 yards, and 4,100 yards. Dude, those are monster seasons, man. Over 4,000, almost 5,000 yards 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they have...
I like them. I like the Vikings.
They're full of weapons. And I mean, Rodgers is Rodgers, but they're going to have to beat Minnesota to win the division. I
don't think that's going to happen. Okay. And coin flip?
Who's the last one?
And the South. Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Bucks. Are they all evenly mediocre? Or you just give it to them?
I mean, the Falcons
you have to dethrone the Falcons?
I mean, I don't know. I'll pick the Falcons. It's not a great division. People liked the Saints last year. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a coin flip. I would just be safe and go with the Falcons.
I was like between those two.
So we only disagreed on the East.
On the East? No, I picked the Texans.
Oh, right. Yes.
You picked Jaguars.
The Jaguars. Just, dude, the mascot. When we were watching
Jackson DeVille.
Yeah, I guess it's big. Like, is it okay? So we were on NFL YouTube today, and they did a Hard Knocks version with the mascots.
Of like the 11 mascots that exist. It was great.
Yeah, and every single team meeting or meeting that they had, the Shagwire mascot was sleeping on the deck, and we just thought it was the funniest thing. But my takeaway from that is because he wears sunglasses inside, which is common for people who are like hungover and they're hiding their eyes.
But you know what your biggest takeaway from that was? Why is the Tennessee Titans mascot a raccoon?
Why is the Tennessee Titans mascot a raccoon?
I don't know.
I thought they had a Titan mascot before that had like the Centurion helmet with the fin.
I don't remember that, but I don't know why it's a raccoon.
Or am I thinking of like the Trojan?
USC Trojan.
The UFC Trojans, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna. I'm like so confused by that. I have to look it up.
And I think his name is like T.
It was like T-Rac. RAC.
dude, it's the. Yeah.
So if I look at it here, T-Rack, it's no, dude, look, they do have like a Spartan warrior.
Oh, they do.
But it's an actual dude who's like jacked.
What? Dude, I love it.
I'm so into T-Rack though. I don't know. I can like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hold up here. I got to look this up. T-Rack. Wikipedia. The official mascot. Oh, the state animal of Tennessee.
Okay.
Okay, that's wait. So wait, are these guys going to go the route of the Diamondbacks and the Devil Rays, where they will believe people cannot, like, they don't know what those are, and they're going now, like, adjust the way we say those teams' names and look at them? Like, do they believe that no one knows what a Titan is? Is that where we're headed?
I don't know, because it said I think they just hired the Titan guy. I was just reading the article. It said they just hired superhero like Titan like character or something.
I don't know what. Oh, that upsets me.
Why? They're bringing it back in. This is from.
I need it now.
So it says Titans hire superhero mascot. I can't believe
superhero mascot, aka T-Rack.
No, I don't know. I think.
So what's T?
No, the
Tennessee Raccoon.
No, yeah, the superhero mascot is the Titan. Is the guy? That's the guy they just hired, not the raccoon. The raccoon's been there, I guess.
The raccoon has.
This is from last year. This is from October of last year. Not even a year ago. They just hired the actual Titan to play.
Maybe the guy for that.
Is that the Rock's brother? Like, I don't even.
Who is that? That's the Rock's crap.
Like, I can tell. There's no one in Tennessee that looks like that. That's not Tennessee lineage. I could.
I'm so fascinated with it.
As Pete's looking up.
Yeah.
Something on his phone. He's on a mission.
T-Rack has been known as zipline. Well, we'll have to.
We need to do more research on T-Rack.
Yeah, I see your article. They hire superhero. But anyway, yeah. Oh, I see other things of him. Has he really been around for that long?
I don't know, man.
Who would accept that? You have awesome colors. You have a great like sub logo, like secondary logo, like the sword.
They are,
and then you get the T with the fire and like
they are cool color though.
You invoke Roman mythology. You invoke the Colosseum. You invoke the Olympics. I don't know.
And you throw a raccoon in a jersey.
Because we were watching it, I'm like, why is there a raccoon?
But the thing about it is, like, he's like, to me, he looks tan, and raccoons are like black and gray. His color was off because when you said it, I'm like, I don't see a raccoon. Yeah. And we had to go back.
We went back because we saw the mask, and then it was like the tail was the giveaway.
So it was like the ring tail. You're like stripes. You're like, all right, that's it.
You know, like, do you know why raccoons are so intelligent? They're like one of your top intelligent animals because they have somewhat thumbs with their hands.
Oh, okay, so
they're able to problem solve.
Yeah,
and they have but I love watching raccoon montages on like YouTube because it's them doing the most like ridiculous stuff with their hands, like getting into feeders and stuff. They're insanely like. There's been ones where they like climbed on top of feeders and weighted down and was able to reach and eat it, while the other ones went to it on floor level, while the other one held it down and ate with the other hand.
What do you enjoy watching more? Raccoon videos on YouTube or flat earthers on YouTube?
Oh, dude. Neil deGrasse was just addressing flat earthers on Joe Rogan because it just has to come up. And he's so funny because the way how he answered the question, he goes, because Joe Rogan was like, well, like, what if the earth is like a sphere? Mm-hmm. And he goes, well, it's not really a sphere. If you were to measure the Earth, it's more pear-shaped than anything. And but Joe Rogan's like, yeah, but if you saw it, that's like that. He's like, those are like microscopic measurements. Because but if you saw it, and Degrassi's like, oh yeah, yes, if you saw it on the ground, it would appear to be a perfect small, like marble, And but it's just I love the flat Earth there. There's this one that I love going to. It's like the flat Earth convention. Where like the guy's so proud that he made the first ever 1/24 scale of the like rotation of like the sun and like the moon in the pattern.
Oh my god!
And it's like on the table. It's so
not to get too deep into it.
So wild.
So their basic idea is
I would say flat Earth over raccoons. To answer your question.
Yeah. So their basic idea is that there's like ice shelves at the end of the planet, right? You can't
400 feet high ice shelves that contain the oceans.
Yeah.
That there's a Antarctic tree. This could be another. Welcome to Dream Warriors, episode 98, Flat Earth Theory with Pete.
Also, episode 1/2.
Yeah, 1/2. No, okay. And there's an Antarctic treaty signed so long ago, you can't even look it up, which is like the 1920s or whatever. In the 1920s, they signed this treaty because they knew even then that you cannot fly over Antarctica. All the countries of the world, some of them not even around anymore, have signed this treaty, so we all secretly obey it. And the reason why you can't fly over Antarctica, because you would fly into nothingness.
Because that's where the Earth stops.
Yeah, okay. So that's where there's confusion of what happens at that point, because
oh, you mean amongst the flat earthers?
Yeah. Because,
I'd love to hear this subreddit.
Because no one says you fly into space, which is technically what you would do.
What is another theory? What happens?
Well, the other ones people feel like there's like a dome. There's like
I've heard the dome theory.
There's an atmospheric dome.
So would you just hit
that you would actually hit, and there's evidence.
That's
of
like some Wakanda shit.
There's this guy. What's with the rivers in Wakanda?
But what's this guy say?
Okay, so there's evidence. There's this guy that shot this rocket 300 feet into the air, and he has a GoPro attached to the view of the rocket, so you can see it shooting up like Armageddon style, like freedom and independence, saving us. And the footage is like the rocket's like, and then it goes clunk, and then it sounds like it's like when you drop Tupperware. That's what it sounds like. And they're like, oh my god, the rocket hit the dome. I just want to start drink. I want to drink now. Whenever we go on these tangents.
Right. Can we please do some research to see when there's a convention close by? Even if it's New York, we're going. I want to go.
Oh my god! I don't know what I would do.
I would just blend in.
I would probably enjoy it more than the comic book convention.
I'm sure you would.
To be perfectly honest. Yes,
we have to try it.
But, well, you want to save our discussion?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
so when you're back,
we'll get a topic for the next time.
Yeah, because I like what we did. We only differ. Is that upsetting that we there was a time where it's like Packers, Vikings, any of the Packers, Vikings, Bears could win. There was some of the divisions are the divisions more divided now more than ever. Coming up next, but why is it so clear that there's just clear front? I don't remember this ever. There being consecutive years of just flat out clear front runners.
The NFL works very funny, man. I mean, half of those teams you picked, they can sustain an injury, and they're finishing last. So who knows?
100%. No, I agree. It's based on health. Is there anything you want to happen as of team success that would? Because I would I'll go back to the Packers. I would love to see the Packers just do well. Yeah. Not meaning that they have to go all the way, but to do well without to be healthy and to do well and just play ball. And I'm kind of rooting for the Jaguars.
Well, I told you earlier.
I would love them to power through.
Yeah, before we recorded, I told you as a loyal Hard Knocks fan, if you watch that series at all right now, you have to root for Cleveland a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Like Cleveland, if they win 5 games this year, it'll be a great year for them. But they've put together a lot of talent.
There's a pain in
and
that.
the idea is like,
look,
can they put it together? Can they win? But it's Cleveland. They're cursed.
Look, they're the franchise that the league was built on. They're the 0.0 of the league, meaning like they're the Gettysburg, so to speak, or the Fort Sumter, I'll say.
Well, that's technically the Ravens, because
Cleveland
moved to Baltimore.
No, that's true. That's true. Okay.
So is it weird? I know it's not weird, but I always think it's weird when Jim Brown still goes to the Cleveland practices because it's not the same franchise.
It's not. No, it's but see, like that's the there's a side of me that likes what Baltimore did because it's almost like the Supersonics leaving.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be called the Supersonics wherever you go.
Yeah.
Like I like it when they're like, you know what? It's like the Utah Jazz were once the New Orleans Jazz. Oh my God, New Orleans Jazz. That's a perfect name. It makes so much sense.
There's not much jazz.
Utah Jazz. It gives me a
while it sounds normal to us because we grew up with it our whole life, it doesn't make any sense.
None. And I like the Ravens thing, but you're right. Like when it comes to the I forget the guy's name that owned the team. I
forget who left.
He's like one, yeah. But either way, it's like the Browns. They had I guess the Bernie Kosar.
Mid '80s.
Yeah, but I don't remember that. Like I don't ever even coverage I remember when I was younger. Like the Browns never seemed like I remember the Lions getting more coverage.
Well, when we were younger, I mean,
Like,
the Browns played in 2 consecutive title games against Elway and the Broncos in the AFC title game, and they had Kosar was their quarterback. They had the famous running back Kevin Mack. Yeah. They did.
Mac, aka Mac Daddy.
They did. So they had Ernest Biner. So these guys that were like good players, and they got to the title game a couple of years, but they could never get over the hump, and then that was like the crowning moment for the Browns at that point. It was then they just moved.
Yeah, it's but the Browns are, I believe, they're like one of the legacy teams that should always. They should just always be in the mix, and it feels off when they're not. It would almost be like if the Packers never came back with Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Like if the Packers just went away, but Brett Favre, Brett Favre led to Aaron Rodgers, and they got they were able to build.
Yeah, well, it's very rare to have 2 legacy quarterbacks like that in a row. I mean, that's basically you're going to get essentially 25 years now of 2 legendary quarterbacks.
Yeah,
it's not common.
But look, we'll talk more next time.
Yep.
We'll rock and roll. We have a great side thing to
segue into the.
I love it. I like that because I threw that off a couple of people too. We'll tease into it. But look, John Pete signing off. Everyone have a good night. Let's get ready for some full football.